Right guys, in this video I want to have a chat with you around the misinformation that's in the marketplace around having children when going for a mortgage application. Look, there's a start off saying this is not a family planning page, it's a financial planning page, but there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I've heard this from a few people, and unfortunately I've actually heard people saying they're putting off having children before going for a mortgage, or they're putting off having more children when they're thinking of trading up the house. Again, why we started the Ask Paul page was to try and bring really precise and correct information. But I will start, before I get into this video or get into maybe what the banks do, everything when it comes to mortgage, a case-by-case basis. That's why we have a mortgage consultation. That's why it's up to us to talk to our clients and build up the case and decide which bank is best to go for your circumstances. But let's talk about the misinformation out there. When it comes to a mortgage, the bank use what's called an NDI. Okay, so an NDI is net disposable income. Okay, so if you're a single applicant, single person going for your own, your NDI is going to be €1,400. So what does that mean? The bank want to see you have €1,400 to spend on yourself after any other loans or any other costs. Okay, so for argument's sake, let's say you have a €4,000 net salary and you're single. The NDI would be €1,400, and that means you've got €2,600 to play with when going for the mortgage. So if your monthly repayments on your mortgage are €1,300 per month, you have no problem whatsoever. So I hope that clears up that kind of what the net disposable income means. Now, if you're a couple, it's €2,000 before you pay your mortgage. And if you're a couple with 2 kids, each child on average is about €250. So what does this mean? Let's say you're a couple with 2 kids, your net disposable income needs to be €2,500 before your mortgage is taken into consideration. However, as I said before, it's a case-by-case basis. Some banks will allow the 140 children's allowance to be offset against that €250 per child. So you're going to be in a much better situation with some banks over the other banks. So it's very rarely, I don't think I've actually ever in my career come across a situation where somebody had 1 or 2 children and they were put out from a net disposable income point of view that they couldn't get a mortgage. So please don't be fearful of having children and fearful of putting off having children when you go for a mortgage application. That's nonsense. So please reach out, have a conversation with us, and we can help you through whatever your personal circumstances in. And again, it's probably, not to sound too corny, a bit of an education around what you can or cannot do. Now, the one thing I will say that does get some people out is the childcare costs. And this is where, again, the experience of coming from bank to bank does make a massive impact. Not all banks will judge childcare the same way. For argument's sake, Permanent TSB, when you go into a Permanent TSB calculator, you will see if you're a financial advisor or a broker. If you go into Permanent TSB, they will ask you what your childcare costs are. Some other banks don't do that. So in that situation, if you've got 2 children and they're in creche maybe, going to Permanent TSB is not probably going to be the best thing in the world to do. Another bank will probably give you more of a mortgage compared to Permanent TSB in that situation. But what does the childcare look like? Let's say you've got 2 kids under 4 years of age and they're going to creche. Some banks will view that, let's say it's €1,000 for the creche fees each. Some banks will look at your net disposable income as a couple being €2,000, 2 kids an extra €500, so you're already up to €2,500, and then you've got 2 creche fees to judge them almost like loans. And that means you'd have to have €4,500 net disposable income before you look at the mortgage. And that's even before you add in the likes of a stress test. So look, the purpose of this video is not to try and confuse. The purpose of this is trying to let you know, if you're having children, planning on having children, worried about a mortgage, worried about a trade-up, just reach out, get a consultation with the excellent team we developed here at Ask Paul, and we can let you know what you need to do and what your circumstances are going to look like going for a mortgage, and more importantly, what banks to use to suit your financial circumstances. And this is why coming to a broker, especially Ask Paul, is so important. Hope this video has honestly added value, because the last thing, I hate when people say to me that they're putting off having children or not going to have any more kids and they get their mortgage sorted. That's not what getting a mortgage is about. So please reach out and comment below if you know anyone that needs to hear this.